We are the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. As always, let's cheers. Talk about some wrestling, huh?
Yeah, we did this for SummerSlam, and you guys seem to like it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily who we think. It's not a prediction. More so just like what should happen. Like, what's the right call? Whether or not it's going to happen is a different story. But
yeah. And at the time of filming this, we do not have a full Bash at Berlin card, which makes this an issue because it's taken forever for them to get the full card out and get these rivalries going. So let's get right to it. I have some honorable mentions here that are not titles, but because of the way the rivalries are going, I wanted to mention them. First one being the bracelet. The bracelet. We all know that Drew McIntyre has been playing Punk's emotional hand over the past few months with that bracelet that has AJ Lee and, what's his dog's name?
Larry.
And his dog Larry's name on his wrist. And this is obviously a strap match. They're going to be close, no running here. Should Drew McIntyre lose the bracelet back to CM Punk at Bash of Berlin?
Oh, so we're not even going for the match here. We're talking about the bracelet itself.
Yeah, no, I don't care who wins the match.
I think, well, then that's a dilemma. Because Punk's going to win this match.
Yeah.
The whole reason, though, would be the bracelet. So, like, Drew would need to keep the bracelet. But if Punk wins, like, he could just take the bracelet off of Drew. So I guess I'm a little hesitant on how they would do that. Unless they introduce something else, I guess. Yeah. That might be what they do.
I'm going to go ahead and say yes. This is where they end the bracelet storyline. And then, obviously, like you said, we think Punk's going to win. Predictions video will come sometime else. But I'm going to say Punk's going to win this. And he gets his bracelet back. And then we can get a third final match with just who wins at stake, right? We don't need the bracelet involved.
Yeah, that's probably a really good way to put that. Because at that point, then, you've had enough over this bracelet. Now it's, quote unquote, like, it is personal already. But now it's just who's the better, like, man, basically.
Yeah.
So they could just do it that way, yeah.
We have a sort of similar situation on SmackDown. It's a new thing, so I don't think they're going to have any sort of match at Bash of Berlin, but I wanted to give it an opportunity here. The Ulfa, the delay on that is Solo and Roman are now fighting over.
Peppers.
The peppers, the red peppers.
Some people call them the peppers.
Should Solo lose the Ulfa at Bash of Berlin?
I'm going to go no on this one.
Agreed.
I think that's probably, that's the whole, like, power is there. So it's like an Infinity Stone or like Undertaker's urn or something along those lines. So without it, you kind of can't call yourself the new tribal chief, I guess, right? Like, whoever has that is technically like the tribal chief.
Right. No, and that last week on SmackDown solidified the fact that he's going to have the Ulafala for a long time because when when Tonga Loa, I don't know, whichever one it was, Tama Tonga, right? Mm-hmm. When he said that he was going to beat up Roman, Solo was like, no, I'm going to handle it. And if he gets this Ulafala, he will be the tribal chief, and I will acknowledge him as tribal chief. So we already know the meaning behind it, how strong they're carrying the Ulafala. And so Roman can't get it back quick, right? It's going to be months. That
would just kind of be an anticlimactic.
Yeah.
All they hear just out of the balloon, you know?
He takes the Ulafala and just goes, okay, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I'm coming for you, Cody. I don't know why he's like Hulk Hogan there, but
yeah. So in terms of actual matches that are on the card, we only got 3 of them for titles, right? So I just went ahead and said, okay, here are a couple matches that I can foresee being on the card, and therefore the champions have an opportunity to lose their title, right? So one that I see is going to be some sort of LA Knight versus Santos Escobar United States title match. Now, they have the official match Friday on SmackDown, but we only have 4 matches right now on the Bash of Berlin card. They need it somewhere, right? And I just feel like this is a solidified rivalry. We're not going to get IC title Bron because the IC title the Intercontinental tournament is just starting. We're not going to get a match in a week there. So I think that LA and Santos will end up being on this card. That being said, should LA Knight lose the United States Championship at Bash of Berlin?
Yeah, so you make a really good point. I'm not even going to address that part of it yet. You talk about Braun Breaker. I think Braun Breaker's on the card. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know how you do it.
Okay.
But he's from there, right?
Yeah.
So it's him and Cody and probably not AJ, but like, they always like to give a nod to those hometown guys, especially guys that are this over. In terms of the LA Knight stuff, this rivalry has been, I would say it's been a little bit better than I expected. I'm not going to go home and write it in my notebook on how great this was, like a diary entry or anything, but it's been better than I thought. LA is going to keep this belt, and he's going to keep it for a while. I just think that's the smart thing to do. You can't have him go, a year and a half or whatever with nothing. You give him the belt, and then you're just like, just kidding. Well, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, there's no chance. No, he should not lose the title. We've been waiting for this moment for LA to have a belt for well over a year now, to have any sort of accolade. And this is a good opportunity for LA to build up Santos. But the idea of dropping the belt is a no. Right. But just the goal of this match should be make Santos look good enough to where he can be an Ilya on the SmackDown brand, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, they got to do something to help build up that mid card. Like, you can still put somebody. I think a lot of people, they get really caught up in who wins and who like loses, which I get, but like, you can still look really good, have your stock improve, and still lose.
100%. Since you already said you think that Bron Breakker is going to be on the card, say he is. Put him anybody in there against him, right? Any current Raw superstar that you think might find himself in this match. Should Bron Breakker lose the IC title at Bash at Berlin? No. What's the answer?
No.
Nah.
It's the same exact thing.
Yeah.
They just gave him the belt, and they just I guess I was thinking way down the line. I was skipping Bash. I was thinking about Bad Blood. So yeah, retract what I said. I'm thinking way too far ahead.
It doesn't really matter. It's a no.
Bash, Bad Blood. It doesn't really matter where it's at. He shouldn't drop the belt anytime soon.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially, they're doing a whole tournament for him.
They're booking him as literally the next big thing. So next big thing can't just drop his title. So there's a no. And then I'm gonna put one more not currently scheduled match on this card for us, because I went through and I really tried my best. We'll do two more. One that's not going to, the Raw tag team titles are not going to be on this. Judgment Day is not. There's literally no other tag team right now to even face. So scratch those off. We'll go ahead and say the same kind of situation with the U.S. title and LA Knight, how they have a match already for the title, but F-free can happen and we can roll this into Bash as well. I'll go ahead and say the SmackDown champions, the Bloodline, should they lose their tag team championships? I'm assuming maybe they beat the Street Profits to DIY attacks. Maybe the Street Profits, F-free happens there and they want to rematch at Bash. But either way, Street Profits or DIY against them. What do you think? Should they drop it?
Yeah, this is maybe the one I'm most confused on. Maybe not confused, but I'm in the middle. I'm already skipping Bash of Berlin, and I'm thinking about Bad Blood. That's a month and a half.
Well, Cody and what's his name?
And Metro Boomin are hanging out. They've been hanging out there for months. I guess I want to be hanging out with them. I don't think so, because as much as the Bloodline stuff, like, it's been hit or miss, right? Like, week to week, sometimes it's really good.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really bad. They need some sort of legitimacy to those other guys that I feel like they should have those belts just for another month and then drop them.
See, that's the reason I think they should drop them, because when you say other guys, who do you mean? Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, right? They're going, like, Jacob Fatu is already legit. He's taken out Roman almost single-handedly. You can't look more stronger than that in all of wrestling, in any promotion ever. So he's already set in stone whether or not he has any title around his waist. And Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, you could say, well, then they're the ones that need the building up, and the title makes them look relevant. Well, my argument there is Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa are going to continue to get their ass whooped by Roman Reigns, whether they have those titles or not. He's going to come out there, and those are going to be the two guys that he's able to beat every single week. We're never going to see Tonga Loa get the best of Roman Reigns. So I think that you should just get the belts off them. Let Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa be the lackeys here. And then Jacob Fatu is already a built man. Solo, he has the Ulafala. They don't need that.
Yeah, I guess my reason for them not dropping them, though, is because I think eventually down the line, they dropped him at like a Bad Blood. It just kind of makes sense. Plus, I've heard rumors about Roman not being on TV for a few weeks now.
Oh.
So I've already heard, because I think I've seen some stuff. I don't know how accurate it is about his health, kind of with the cancer stuff. And all that. So I don't really know how true that may or may not be. But I've seen that he's not supposed to be back until maybe the 13th, 15th, somewhere like middle of September. If that's the case, you need some sort of credibility for the Bloodline to have something, and they can beat other tag teams. I mean, I don't really care who they beat, but they got to start beating somebody.
Or while Roman's out, you can start having the returns.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you do it. I think ultimately Roman and maybe a Jimmy or somebody, I think they cost them.
Yeah.
So I think that's the only reason why they probably don't drop that. But Triple H has done a really, whether you like it or not, he's done a really, he's been really adamant about like screw jobs.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of them.
Yeah, there is. And then one more we're going to scrape by that's not on the card currently, just real quick. Unholy Union. I'm guessing that they have a match at Bash at Berlin some way, somehow. And I'm guessing it's going to be a Jade Bianca, since they've now been backstage for multiple weeks saying they want the titles. Should Unholy Union drop the titles at Bash at Berlin? I'm going to go ahead and say yes. We've been saying it you and I have been saying it for months that, you know, it is a nice little nod to give them the belts at, what was it? Clash. But give the belts to the freaking superstars here and let them cook with it.
I'm going to be honest. Like, as I'm sitting here thinking about it, like, we got Bash at Berlin, you got Bad Blood, you got Clash at the Castle, all these alliteration. They sound good when you're just talking about the PLEs themselves. You're like, oh man, I like that name. As I'm sitting here trying to rattle through stuff and forecast and backcast and current cast, it gets confusing. As for Unholy Union, yeah, they need to drop the belts. They haven't done anything with them. Jade and Bianca also have done nothing in the meantime.
Yeah.
So you need something for them to kind of like, I don't know, feel important. Like the shine for me is gone away. Like
just drop the belts back to Jade and Bianca and give us the long title reign that ends in one of them turning heel that we've all wanted and we all want to see. Just that's one of those times where it's like the obvious thing to do. Let's do it. Mm-hmm. We do have 3 title matches on the Bash of Berlin card.
See, now you're doing
you got me messed up.
Everybody's doing it.
We got
Bad Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We got the first one. Women's WWE Undisputed Championship. Nia Jax is taking on Mi Shin. Should Nia Jax drop her championship at Bash at Berlin?
I feel like that's not a question. I think the better question would be, should Tiffany cash in at Bash at Berlin?
Too soon.
You think too soon?
Yeah.
I would also agree, probably too soon. Nia's not dropping this. No. I've said it before. I said it before Tiffany won the briefcase. Really excited. I'm really interested to see what they do. Even just a little bit they've given us so far, minus the celebration party thing.
Yeah, it was bad.
That was pretty Deadly's fault, though. That's why it was so bad.
It's true.
Tiffany's a star, so you could just have her continue to grow, continue to get over as a face. And then that pop for that cash-in is going to be that much better.
Yeah, not only should Nia Jax not lose her championship here, I don't think that Tiffy should even think about cashing in. I don't even think we should get a little nod at it.
No tease.
I think that this is her first title defense, and let's just have Nia win this handedly. Have them have a good match. Let Mi Shin shine a little bit. Show us that Nia Jax can go with anybody, and give her a clean win here. And Tiffy holds her hand up at the end. So anyway, we got 2 big ones. Big ones. We got the men's world heavyweight championship match. Gunther taking on Randy Keith Orton. Should Gunther lose his world heavyweight championship at Bash of Berlin?
Could you imagine?
Right.
Like in the hometown.
Oh,
quote unquote. I mean, God, that'd be
after less than a month.
Yeah.
Oh,
that place would be getting stuff thrown in the ring. Just like WCW back in the day. Should he drop it? No. I mean, we've been kind of sour a little bit on this feud. Hasn't really done a lot. Hasn't really moved the needle one way or the other. It's going to happen. And for that reason, it's just like, yeah, make it a bigger deal, you know? I don't need Gunther to hold the belt for 666 days, though.
No, 100%. Should he lose here? No. He shouldn't drop the title this early, because you would run into the to the brick wall of like, okay, you're kind of making Gunther look weak. Unless there's a big screw job, which Triple H does a lot. Maybe Ludwig could cost him. Set up a bad blood thing. Then you have the Gunther going to SmackDown. So there are hints and nuggets of little stuff that we could get if he were to drop it. But if you're gonna ask me, should he? No. Let's have Gunther stay on Raw. Have him have a decent title reign. But like you said, I don't need 666 days of it.
No.
So
no, they've kind of painted themselves in a weird spot with both main titles. Yeah. Which I guess we'll get to the other one right now.
Yeah, speaking of that, we do have one more title match on the card. This wonderful 4-match card that we currently have. 5-match, sorry. Which is good, I guess. I mean, that's like kind of what they're going with lately is less
They've
matches.
been going roughly about 5 for
6,
these B shows, and then SummerSlam was 7, so.
Yeah, right. So, anyway, we do have Mr. The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, taking on Kevin Owens, who's looking more like his old self. Mm-hmm. Should Cody Rhodes drop the WWE Championship at Bash of Berlin?
I feel like this is the one maybe people are most divided on.
Really?
And I find myself kind of being, I wouldn't say I'm full on like he should drop it, but we've talked about how Cody is a better chaser and challenger than he is a champion.
Yeah.
So you get that element back. As a whole, though, no, I think he retains it. I think they continue to have him kind of in this weird limbo spot. Maybe you run it back again, and then maybe Randy's mad that he didn't get one. Yep. And that's probably the way they'll do this. But I could also see a case for people to be like, yeah, he should drop it because he's been pretty boring, which like we say, he is that guy when he comes out. We enjoy him. When he's at live events, when you're there, you enjoy him. But I have seen a growing backlash of people be like, man, this is not the greatest of runs.
I'm not going to lie. I don't care if you hate Cody's run. I don't care if you love Cody's run. Cody should not drop the title here. Like, it shouldn't even be a debate, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, the whole story here is that Kevin Owens doesn't deserve it, right? And I know that that's turning him back into his old self. He's getting pissed about it. And you could say, well, he's leveling up kind of during this, with people saying this about him. Sure. I just watched Cody Rhodes take a frog splash through an announce table from Jacob Fatu, then get rolled into the ring, get Samoan spiked by Solo Sikoa, and kick out at 2. Sorry, he should not lose clean to Kevin Owens at Bash of Berlin. I'm not going to hear it.
It's super Cody.
Yeah, I mean, it's super Cody at this point. We know it. We know what the rivalries are going to look like down the line. It's going to be The Rock. It's going to be Randy Orton. It's going to be Roman Reigns again at some point. We know it. And to be honest with myself, as much as I do have small little, I'm kind of with the crowd a little bit on the fatiguing of the title reign. I still want Cody to be the champion and those feuds to eventually come true. Like I do want to see that down the line. I wish the work between those moments was better, but I do want to get there and see those big matches. So no, he should not be losing the belt anytime soon.
It's just almost like a movie. You're really excited. It had a great 15 minutes, and then you're like, oh, God, this middle hour is terrible. But then the last half hour, you're like, dang, that's good.
Yeah, it's like a TV show where you got a good start, and then you know what's coming 7 more episodes. You're like, oh, by episode 10 we'll be good, and you're on episode 2, and you're like, okay, let's hopefully this can get me there, right? So those are our takes on who should or should not lose their titles at Bash at Berlin. Not a lot of title matches, but we still got some time, so maybe WWE shoes in a couple more, right? Hopefully.
Yeah, it's interesting because, I mean, some of the titles are only defended at PLEs, but then you don't get other titles at PLEs. And yeah. I don't know. The way they're doing it's kind of funky.
Yeah, it's a conversation for another time. I gotta have a whole video on that one. Anyway, follow us on all of our socials at COD WrestlePod, COD WrestlePod. Listen to us wherever you get your podcasts at, Spotify, Apple, etc. And join our Discord. We're having a lot of fun in there, getting more and more people like Mr. Kevin. He asked me to shout him out. I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Hell yeah, Kevin.
What's up, Kevin? Anyway, I'm Will. That's Brandon. We are the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. As always, we'll see you next time.